All right, let's move on to our next presenter. That's Jennifer Newman, the owner and CEO of Young Lion Brewing. Come on up. Nice to meet you. You can use either mic and your time respect.
Okay, sounds great. Hi, I'm Jen Newman, CEO and co-owner of Young Lion Brewing Company. We're a 35-barrel system located on one of the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. I started the project about 4 years ago with my co-owner, Alicia Wolk, and in June of 2017, we opened our tap room and started distribution. I needed a brewer, so I conducted a nationwide search for our brewer, and I found Phil Platts, UC Davis grad, 9 years at Miller Coors, had been working at a brewery called Trim Tab down in Alabama and winning some local awards down there. He had everything we needed for the creativity and the technical skills to give us the great beer that we needed. So our target market, so we're actually going after, while we always want to appease the most educated and experienced palates, the target market that we're going after are those individuals that are just getting into craft. This is a very large market, and it's also a very exciting market to go after. And being a woman-owned business, I think we have an advantage for engaging these customers, especially with the growing market of women. In fact, over 57% of our 6,000 followers are women. So last night you drank our IPA. Last night you drank our Pilsner, even though our IPA is 40% of our sales. The reason that I did this was to highlight to you Phil's technical abilities, because as you know, with a Pilsner, there's no place to hide. That's it.
Nicely done. Tom, there's no place to hide with Pilsners. What do you think of Young Lions?
I'll be honest, I mean, lagers are really difficult to brew. It's also one of my favorite styles. You chose to brew a Czech Pils for me, which is an amplification and a personification of spicy hop character. So it's definitely hop forward with a crackery, bready kind of malt complexity in the middle. I'll be quite honest, I found yours a little lacking. I found it a little pedestrian in that for me, it was mostly malt derived, but there was no balance or interplay with that spicy hop character that I anticipate from Saaz. So for me, it wasn't true to style, and I know it wasn't intentionally brewed that way, but for me, there was some issues with the quality, given that it didn't match the style classifications, style guidelines for me.
Fred, in terms of brand positioning, Jennifer laid a few points out. How did that play into your perspective on the branding and packaging?
I think the branding's very kind of hip. There's a nostalgia vibe to it. It's pretty interesting. I think it's eye-catching. I noticed some dissonance between the Pilsner and the Stout. I imagine one is more updated than the other. So those two things coming to line and being consistent will be a strong thing. The most surprising fact for me was the women-owned. I really love that. I don't know if that's a story that you're trying to avoid telling, but for me, it felt like something that was under leveraged and could be really, I think brought into the pack a lot more.
And Carmen, last words. What do you think of the presentation, Jennifer's presentation?
I thought it was a great presentation. Good job. I think that there is a real opportunity to bring more folks into the category, so I applaud you for doing that. I think the styles that at least that we haven't tasted the Imperial Stout yet, but they're a little bit incongruent for me. So thinking about pulling new folks into the category and what kind of styles they're more interested in, I think is something that crosses my mind.
All right, great feedback.